Okay, well then we invite the next fuck up story to the stage. Renay from PYXERA. Thank you very much for sharing your fuck up story.
All right.
Big applause for Renay.
I know. Where's the love? I need a little bit of love. So I don't have any funny photos or funny quotes. Just a few, maybe not so funny, but interesting stories. So for those of you who are familiar with PYXERA Global, we've been around for about 30 years or so, but only implementing skills-based pro bono consulting programs for about 10 years. So in the course of the 30-year history and the 10 years of implementing skills-based, we have screwed up a ton of times and learned many of lessons and are still standing, thankfully. So a few stories that came to mind. So I've curated some of the stories from my team and kind of got some of the best practices and lessons learned that I can share. And I will not share specific client names. So I'll be very vague about that. Actually, I'll say it's Prezi. So I'll refer to Prezi. That's who we fucked up with. So the first one was, we were earlier in our days of implementing skills-based programs. So we didn't turn down any business. A client came and said, hey, can you do this? The answer was always yes. Then we always figured out how to do it afterwards. Our motto at that time was, you build the plane as you fly it. So you just figure it out, keep it moving, and it's always gonna work, right? So Prezi came to us and said, hey, I'm new to pro bono. We wanna do a program. We think we wanna go to South Africa, and we think we wanna go in May. So we said, okay. We have an office in South Africa. We've done some work there before. Sure, no problem, let's do it. So they tell us all the parameters. You know, we have about 10 employees. We want to send them, we want them to work on, you know, access to healthcare and some water and sanitation projects. We said, sure. Our country director has great relationships with organizations in this area. Let's do it. Sign us up. Whatever you need, we got it. So for our programs, for the global pro bono programs, we do everything from beginning to end. So design, do all of the logistics, we do visas, we book flights, we book hotels, we do all of the logistical arrangements as well as the project development, implementation, and monitoring. So one of the things that Prezi said, which I'm sure many of my implementer and NGO partners in the room can identify with, is they said we want it to happen on an expedited schedule. So we need it to happen in about 6 weeks or so. We said, sure, we can do it. We'll figure it out. Which means that we didn't necessarily have time to scope out the situation and visit the community and build relationships ourselves with the organizations, visit the hotels and that kind of thing. But we said, hey, we've done it before. Our country director says that he can do it. So what's the big deal? So talk to the country director. He finds out all the organizations, builds the projects, gets everything lined up. He didn't have enough time to go to the hotels and kind of visit, which now we do, which we should have done back then. He didn't have a chance to do that, but he said, you know what, I'm familiar with this area. I'm completely comfortable with, you know, having a team stay there for a month. It's gonna be safe, it's gonna be fine, no issues. We looked at the website, the hotel looks amazing, you know, let's do it, it's gonna be great. So now I want you to take that hat off and put on the hat of you being a participant. So you are a first-time pro bono consultant, now being deployed to South Africa, super excited, never been out of your country before. Your manager has nominated you to do this, so you're like, okay, I got a lot of pressure on my shoulders, can't screw this up, this is gonna be great. You tell your family, your friends, everybody's nervous, but you're excited, confident. You get on a plane, you get to South Africa, you get a taxi to the hotel, only to find that it's an open, vacant lot. There's no hotel. You don't know what to do, you're by yourself, never been out of the country before, don't know how to navigate new lands that way, and you're completely lost. So we cut corners in the early days and did not scope out, as I said, the hotel. Just trusted the website and saw the pictures and said, oh, it's beautiful. There's 5-star ratings. This is great. Let's book it. Booked it. Booked nothing, actually. So our fuck up was we, again, cut corners and there was no hotel. And so many lessons in that, as you can imagine. So we're scrambling, you know, the participant calls our country director and it's like, hey, I'm here, there's nothing here, what do I do? Country director starts shitting bullets and figures out where to go, what to get there, how to get there, and finds another hotel to rebook the team in. And thankfully, folks came kind of in waves, so it was only the first person that came, and the rest of the team didn't arrive until the next day, so we were able to recover very quickly and find a hotel for the team to stay in. So many lessons. One of the lessons was sweat the small stuff. Don't cut corners. If you don't have time, say you don't have time or find the time to visit the places, because safety and security is obviously important. So now we have an organizational imperative called sweat the small stuff. The other one is don't rest on our laurels. We have an organizational imperative called don't rest on our laurels. So just because we've done it once before doesn't mean we are, the experts in it. We need to, keep it fresh and keep it right and keep doing it again and again. And consult your country staff, your local staff. That was another lesson, is make sure that they're doing their job. So huge fuck up. The other one was in our early days. Again, team went to Rajasthan, India, actually, with Prezi again. And so yes, Prezi is still a client from the first one. So we explained everything to them. They thankfully and mercifully forgave us, and they're still a partner of ours. And then the other one was we went to Rajasthan, India, took a team there. Team, again, this one participant in particular had never been out of the country before. Super excited to be there, super excited to be immersed in a new space, see the culture, eat the food, meet the people, and was particularly impressed by the camels. And so for those of you who are familiar with Rajasthan, you know that the camel is the animal, the state animal. So he was very insistent on riding an animal, or riding the camel, I should say. And so not knowing that the camel was sacred, that you don't ride the camel. And so he, insisted, he got on the camel and he made an ass of himself. And ended up making an ass of us because we didn't prepare him enough culturally to know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So I would say the big fuck up for us was, again, not thinking through the details and preparing the participants for the community that they're about to go into, and what to expect, and how to behave, more importantly, according to the local customs and cultures. So 2 fuck ups, but we survived.
Thank you, Renay, for sharing your fuck-up story. And there's a little bit of a theme about details, so for all of them. So is there anyone, I know Armin is trying to show me up and be able to throw the microphone further than I can, but is there anyone else that wanted to share a story? Okay.
Layla. Okay, I'm throwing this at you.
So first, I would like to check if I know the right word for this adrenaline. Is it same in English?
Yeah.
Okay, So this story is about adrenaline. So we are relatively fresh to pro bono. We started only 2 years ago, this pro bono program. For last autumn, it was our first year. And so we decided to arrange the pro bono marathon during the pro bono week. And we started, I consulted everybody I can get during this Singapore summit to ask how it should be organized. And we started our preparation early in summer, like July or August, for the end of October. And we had some beneficiary organizations which were social enterprises who need to develop their marketing strategies and communication strategies. And we decided to approach creative agencies. And we started to calling and going from door to the creative agencies. Most fancy, most highly paid, top creative agencies who receive the honorarium, which I will not earn during several years of my work, and who never heard of not only pro bono, but any social work at all. And we came to this agency and we start explaining what is responsible business, what is pro bono, what is social enterprise. So we started from zero. And at the end of the interview, all of them we met said that, wow, that's great. We want to participate in it because we want to help. And so we were very proud of it. And so we organized one orientation meeting for all these creative agencies to design the format. And we said that you should have some preparation work before with these enterprises, social enterprises, to find out really what is their problem, because we're not marketing specialists and you might need to scope more properly their problems and design the briefs. And then you will implement these solutions during the marathon. And you know, they're very young and very competitive. And they often do the marathons between themselves when they really have competition. They receive the brief, and at the end of the day, they reveal the winner who have designed the best solution. And they say, it's not interesting for us. There will be no adrenaline for us in that. If we know the problem beforehand, so what are we doing at this marathon? We are not competing with each other. And it's not, wouldn't be right to compete because it's a social project. But then it's not interesting for us. What should we do there? And we said, wow, it's just a failure. What can we do? Because these people are not interested in that. And then they found out, they created solutions themselves. They said, we should design briefs for different organizations, and then we would work with each other's briefs. So without knowing beforehand with whom we are going to work. And so this will be very new for us. We didn't know anything beforehand, and this is adrenaline for us. So in the morning we learn about the problem, and till the end of the day we have to produce solution. Wow, great. And so this marathon was really successful, and they designed wonderful, wonderful marketing strategies and logos and some campaigns, planned campaigns and everything. So everybody was very happy and it was really great success. And after that, it was first European Pro Bono Summit, and Antoine told me that we practice it very often, that we organize follow-up meetings after the marathons in few months' time to summarize the results and to show the pro bono companies what social change has been achieved through their interaction or involvement. So in 6 months' time, we decided to organize the follow-up meeting, and we worked for the whole month with the social enterprises to make them prepare really good presentations on what have they done, how did they implement these marketing strategies, and what social change did they achieve to present this to these pro bono companies. And we call to them, and everybody says, oh, that's nice, we will come definitely, oh, what a good idea. And in this day, we hired some nice plays, and we prepared some wine for them and relaxing atmosphere. And all the NGO, the civil society organizations came with their presentations, you know, sticks and everything. And out of 7 creative agencies, only 2 came, though all of them confirmed their participation the same morning, the morning of the same day. And we were so disappointed. Some of these beneficiary organizations came from different cities, you know, just to present these results. And we're persuading them that it's important that you show how important results you have achieved. And it was like, we did not understand what happened. Why did this happen? And well, then they presented these presentations to each other and to the 2 participants. And then we sat and we tried to analyze, and we understood that there was no adrenaline for these organizations in this meeting. Yeah, they were eager to help, but they were not so much eager to listen about social change they produced, because there were, for them, because they're very young, very competitive, and it was no adrenaline for them. So the lesson we learned from this, that you should always figure out very precisely what is the interest and motivation for corporate partner, not only for the beneficiary organization, but why this corporate partner is coming to deliver this pro bono. What is his personal motivation? And all are different. And so all of them might have different motivation. If you do not take this into account, you might fuck up like we did. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's also the notion of only because you did something right in the first place doesn't mean you do it right again over and over again. Even if you do something right, you might still fail in the second time. I think that's an important notion there as well.